Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Walter and this is Mike, and we're going to be talking about TechSmith Relay, the enterprise video hosting solution by TechSmith. For this webinar today, let's first go over just a few ground rules and talk about how the technology works. We're streaming this live, so if you're watching this live right now, the quality isn't usually the best when you're streaming media. That's why we make software that allows you to record it and view it afterwards. But we're also doing that. So after we're done with this webinar, we're going to send you a hyperlink to a YouTube video. We're going to post this on YouTube, and we're going to make it available in HD quality, 720p quality. So we'll be sending you that hyperlink afterwards. But if you want to see it in the best quality possible, as Mike is walking through things and we're showing you things on the screen, what you can do is you can click on the lower right-hand corner this ability to blow it up to full screen. Okay, so there's a little icon in the lower right-hand corner so you can enlarge it to full screen. It still may be a little bit blurry, but once again, we'll send you the hyperlink afterwards. Also, at the bottom of this, below the video here, there's a chat widget. Please ask your questions as we're going through the functionality of TechSmith Relay. Please ask your questions, and then at the end of the webinar, we'll make sure we get to as many questions as possible. Now, in the interest of conserving time and making the best use of your time, Mike and Shane Lavellette did a webinar, did a walkthrough of all the features and functions of Relay last Monday. So this is really recent that we've done this, and it's just in the essence of conserving time. So what we're going to do here in just a moment is switch over to that feed, and then once again taking all of your questions, and then we'll cut back to us, and then we'll answer any questions you may have. So really, that's about it. If you have any other questions, please make sure as Mike and Shane are going through the system, they ask that in the chat widget, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you.
Hi, Shane and I are here today to give you a quick but comprehensive overview of what TechSmith Relay can do. So without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Shane to get us involved.
All right, thanks Mike. So what is TechSmith Relay? TechSmith Relay is an enterprise-wide video training and communication platform for your organization. What we've got is a short little video to kind of give you a quick high-level overview of what it is, and then we're going to talk a little bit more in depth on how it works and actually do a real demo on camera so you can see hands-on how to use TechSmith Relay.
Welcome to TechSmith Relay, your organization-wide video solution. TechSmith Relay is a closed environment that makes creating and sharing videos straightforward and simple. If you're working with others, create a group to join forces on projects or common interests. Using groups allows the right people to get the right videos, and members are notified when new videos are ready. To create your own videos, visit the Videos tab and download the recorder, or add a video from YouTube. You can even import videos directly from your mobile device using TechSmith Fuse. Creators can set video privacy, share videos to groups, or even embed videos in a blog or LMS. After logging in, viewers can watch and interact with videos using any device. Finally, video quizzing and analytics give the complete picture of who's watching what and where they might need additional help. Well, what are you waiting for? It's time for you to try TechSmith Relay.
So as you can see, Relay is a video platform that you can use inside your organization, but what are you going to use it for, and where is the value that it provides for you and your employees and your staff? Well, for one, it allows you to create really effective onboarding programs, and this is a common problem across organizations, bringing new staff in. How do you actually bring those new members of your team up to speed and understanding of your rules, your regulations, your policies in a quick and a convenient way that doesn't require lots of class time or face-to-face time, so they can learn at their own pace. It also helps you to deliver on-demand training so your employees can access training wherever, whenever, however they want across multiple devices so they can get the training they need on demand. And then third, it allows you to do corporate communications in a much more effective and efficient way as well, so that you can share from the executive level, the manager level, or even just sharing customer insights from inside the organization out to the rest of the staff through video. Allows you to create it once, let staff consume that content whenever they're available to be able to do that and fit it in their schedules, and you don't have to schedule lots of hands-on time or face-to-face time again to get that message across. And then finally, it allows you to build a video knowledge base. A very common issue is that staff members are retiring. You have a lot of knowledge built up within the team members inside the organization, and when they leave, all that knowledge goes with them. So how do you make sure that knowledge stays inside the organization, is referenceable and findable across your rest of your staff, so that you don't lose a lot of knowledge with retirement or with staff leaving for other jobs. So all of those things are benefits that Relay can provide for your organization and allow you to set that up and make it a super easy and efficient way to be able to capture it, collect it, and make it findable and consumable by your staff. So what we've talked about is, let's talk a little bit more in detail about how it works. So it's really an end-to-end solution. So one of the key differences with TechSmith Relay is that it combines creation with the consumption and storage and hosting for your organization. So you're not dealing with multiple different products and solutions and trying to tie those together to create this end-to-end solution. It gives you everything all included in as part of the Relay solution. So it allows you to create content. So it's super 1, 2, 3 to be able to capture content, record off of a desktop or a laptop screen, capture audio explaining something, and be able to just hit the submit button, and then that'll get submitted to your Relay portal. So you can do this on mobile devices with our TechSmith Fuse app, which we're going to show you how that works. You can do this really across platforms, iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac, so that you have access to, regardless of the kind of platforms you're using inside your organization, or if you have mixed platforms or in a BYOD environment, you can support those devices to be able to easily create content. It also allows you to capture that real-world footage, so you're not just tied to what you want to display on your screen or just recording PowerPoint presentations, but you can capture any kind of video footage you want, a process that's happening on the shop floor in a manufacturing plant, for example, and be able to point out how to make improvements in that. You can easily do that with a mobile device, with a camera that those high-quality devices have built into them, and be able to easily share that. That video then goes to your organization's video portal that's hosted in the cloud. And that's hosted by TechSmith, but it's built on Microsoft Azure, and it is private to your organization. So that's your organization's content. Your organization's access is limited to who you decide to give access to for that content. And then from there, your colleagues, your staff can access that content across devices through the web browser. And it's HTML5 video content, so it plays across devices. You can do it on an iPad, access it on a phone. Regardless of the device, they can consume that content and be able to view that content, rewatch it whenever they want. And then some additional bonuses that you get with the system is being able to add some interactivity to the content, so you can add some quizzing to be able to measure how well your staff is learning from training content, or to be able to get feedback on the content itself to create a feedback loop back to the content creators to understand how they might be able to improve it. It also gives you analytics, so you know exactly who watched, how much they watched, and when they watched. So you can get an understanding of if your employees are actually watching it, or the people, especially in onboarding programs, the ones that have to watch it, you have a compliance analytics there that you can measure and be able to make sure they're watching, and then talk to them or follow up with employees that may not have watched the content. And then finally, you can create groups around the content so that you can organize and automatically notify members of the group when new content is available, so that you can kind of segment off specific groups around types of content or around departments. And then so that way it makes it much easier to share. The sharing is almost automatic in that sense. When you share to the group, which we'll show, then everybody that's a member of that group automatically gets notified via email that there's a new video for them to watch.
What I like about it, to summarize then, is it's easy to create the content. We've tried to work really hard so you don't have to do a lot of training. People don't have to know what an MP4 is. They don't know how to FTP. They can use mobile devices that are becoming all over the place. They can just, on a whim, capture some content and some knowledge. And it's safe and secure to host. We don't do security by obscurity. We go beyond that, so you control access. And then finally, it plays anywhere. Whether you're in your car or in the park or anywhere, you can just watch this content.
One other piece we wanted to talk about was the whole integration with LMS systems as well. So we've designed it to integrate with your environment. So instead of necessarily them accessing, your employees being able to access the content directly through the Relay portal, you may have a learning management system in place already where you want them, or they're going today, like Moodle or Blackboard or Canvas, to access that content, and you want to leverage that. Well, Relay integrates very seamlessly within those systems. And so that way you're then sharing and accessing the content through the LMS. It provides single sign-on, so if your users are signed into the LMS, they're automatically signed into the Relay system so that it trusts that that individual is part of the LMS system, part of your organization, and they can just view the content. Content creators then can access their whole library of Relay content right from within the LMS to be able to add it easily to their courses that they're creating inside the LMS system itself. So it's a great way to be able to just integrate seamlessly some simple creation and consumption of video content directly into the LMS system that you have in place already. Mike was talking about security. We wanted to just touch on this. Again, this is hosted by TechSmith, but this is built on Microsoft Azure as the cloud system that we're using to host this content. So you get all the security and reliability of Microsoft Azure in the cloud, but then we also have specific security measures in place. So it's HTTPS. We're using SSL to secure the content, so you have a secure socket layer there. And then the nice thing is that it's all built behind your sign-in. So it's your identities is how anybody can actually access content. So you can't view this content without actually signing in, either through your LMS or through Relay itself to be able to view the content. So even if you embed the content and want to embed it somewhere else, viewers would have to sign in to be able to view the content. So you can know that it's secure. It has integration with your Azure Active Directory system, so it can integrate directly with that. So your existing directory service, they could sign in using that exact account, and then so they don't have to remember a brand new account or a new password, but they can just sign in with that account, and you can manage that all through your Active Directory that you have in place already if you do use Active Directory. So it provides that level of security as well around the content. So you're not going to be able to access it just from somebody out on the street wanting to hit your website and see a piece of video. They'll have to have an account and be signed in, and you have given them authorization. So let's touch on how the pieces that make it up. There's 3 key pieces. We've kind of talked about this. I'll touch on them real quick. There's the Relay website. So we're going to show you that, where you access the content, where the content is stored. There's a desktop recorder that anyone, or you can specify who is allowed to access and download the recorder to install on Windows and Mac devices and be able to create content, record the screen, video, and audio, and share from the desktops or laptops. And then there's the mobile recorder app called TechSmith Fuse, which is available for iOS, Android, and Windows 8 mobile devices, so that you can record off those mobile devices and be able to share back to the TechSmith Relay portal website for your organization. You get your very own website, your own unique URL for that website, and that is where you can organize content, you can manage that content. Each individual user gets their own page on there to be able to have their own library of video content and be able to then go there and view content that's been shared with them through groups. And that's where all the videos are stored, accessed, and managed. There's admin functionality above that as well, where you can actually, from an administrator perspective, be able to go in and manage content across users and manage your users as well. But each individual user gets their own Relay portal to be able to share and manage their own content. The desktop recorder, like we said, is really simple to use. It's 3 clicks to be able to record, start, stop, and submit to their portal, and be able to go and then be able to share that out however they want with their groups. It records webcam, desktop video, audio, and so you can record whatever you need to and show whatever you want on your screen. It could be a PowerPoint presentation. It could be a walkthrough of how to use your corporation's CRM system, for example. Whatever it is, you can create any kind of content you want by recording the desktop. And that can be downloaded directly through the Relay portal itself. And then finally, the mobile recorder, where you can easily connect that to your Relay instance and be able to record videos right on the phone, send them right to your Relay instance, your Relay portal, and be able to manage them from there as well. So from that, and let's actually get in, and I'm going to jump right out of this PowerPoint, and let's show you how this actually works. So let me escape out. And we're going to start with the desktop recorder. So again, anybody can download this. You can show them, or you can deploy this from an admin perspective as well. We have an MSI installer capability, so if you want to push this out and install it on whatever desktops you want, or you can give access to your staff to be able to download it from the Relay portal if you want to do that. But it just depends on how you're giving administrative rights to your staff and using the machines you have in your organization. But this is the Relay recorder, You simply hit the record button. It shows you what you're going to record. This is the screen video. It's going to record this monitor. If I had multiple monitors, I'd be able to pick. I can add a camera if I wanted to record with the built-in video camera as well. So it does a little picture-in-picture of the video camera on the lower right over the screen and records that. And then it also records audio from whatever microphone. You can select which microphone is connected. But as simple as, I'm going to just turn the camera off for our demo purposes here. And you simply hit record. And so now you get a little countdown, and we're actually going to be recording the screen. So now whatever I do on the screen is going to be recorded. So if I wanted to bring up my PowerPoint presentation, for example, or let's say I wanted to bring up Camtasia and I wanted to create a how-to video on how to use Camtasia Studio, I could do that and be able to show that as I'm walking through and clicking through Camtasia and how you work with Camtasia. It could be whatever it is you can display on your screen. You could walk through a document even just to explain your thoughts and processes around what you're doing. And so once you're done, you bring your recorder back up and simply hit the stop button, and it'll come up with a preview so you can actually review this video and see it. And then I can scrub around if I want to pick, make sure everything worked the way I expected it to. I can give it a title. Camtasia how-to. And I could give it a description, or I could just hit submit. Now, one other nice thing you can do is actually be able to trim the beginning and end off the video real quick. So some real fast, simple editing. If I select trimming, turn that on, I can just scroll to where I want to trim. So I want to trim that beginning section off, and then here at the end, let's say before the recorder comes up, I want to trim it off right there. Just hit set the end point there. And now when I submit this, it's going to submit that without that beginning and end section. So I just submit it. It's going to connect to the server, and now it's sending that video up. And if you notice, I get a message back saying, hey, your presentation was successfully submitted. I get a link. So what I can do now is I could copy and share this link immediately right now. So if I wanted to email this out to my team, for example, I could just simply copy this link and put it in an email and send it out, and they'd be able to go and check it out. Or I can go and share it with groups by going to the View Now link, and that'll bring up the video and let me share that with groups, which I can show you how that works. Now the key here is the server is doing in the technical details, the server is doing the encoding of this video, so there is a little bit of a time delay where the video is being processed on the server. You don't need to wait for that to be finished before you share it, but you'll get this message at the initial time while it's actually doing the encoding before the video is viewable, and then as soon as it's viewable, it just automatically updates here on the view page, and the link is all the same and nothing changes there. So, but there's just a little bit of delay to process and encode the video. So what I can do here is if I want to share to a group, I can bring up my groups here. And I could easily create a new group. If I was starting with a new kind of video content that I wanted to create a new group around, I could easily do that. But the other thing I can do is just say, hey, I want to share this with my the onboarding group, or I'm going to just share to this test group. But when I do that, I just click it, it's done. Now, the nice thing is they're going to get an email. Everybody in that group will get an email that'll tell them that this video has been, a new video has been added, and they can go and view that. The nice thing, though, is it doesn't happen until the video is actually viewable. So when I click done now, no one in that group until this video is actually viewable and done encoding will they get that message. So you can feel confident that that message will go out when the video is actually ready to be viewed. So let's go back and actually look at what it looks like when you actually log into your profile on your Relay portal. And so this is what you'll see as a viewer, as a staff member logging into your organization's portal. And so you start off on your profile page. Now initially this would be empty, but what you see here are all the groups that I'm a member of, so I can display all of those here and see which ones. I could also create a new group if I wanted to, and that way if I'm ready to start a new kind of group around content or a new project that I'm starting, I could create a group around that project to be able to share content with my project members. And but I can go and view that. The other thing you can do is go to the Videos tab, and this is where you can see all the videos that you have created. So this would be a listing and all the video content that you've created, and you can manage that content here. You can delete these videos. You can go in and view them to see who's watched them and view the analytics and that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do, and this is also where you could actually download the recorder. So if I selected the download recorder option and you turn this on for your staff members, they could then click that link and just go here to be able to download the recorder onto their own computers. As I mentioned, you could push this out from your admin perspective as well through the MSI and just push it out to those who you want to give access to, but they can download it directly as well. And this is also where you'd connect to the Fuse. We'll show you how that works too, but you can connect Fuse to your instance and through the QR code and just scan that, and that just makes that connection for you really simple and easy. So I'm going to go back to my home, which is my profile basically with my groups, and let's look at an example. So an example here is we talked about the onboarding process and the videos that could be shared and created for bringing in new employees and helping them onboard. So what we have here is we had an example of open enrollment where you got to fill out these forms every year for our healthcare insurance, dental, all the things, declaring what you need, what you want for your following year in that enrollment process. And so HR sent out an open enrollment video to explain the process, how to do it, and what the deadlines were, and that's what this video was. So this was a really great way to get it out to the staff and also then to be able to understand who's actually watched it, make sure they have watched it, because the big issue was they would constantly get this question year after year, and people wouldn't get their forms in on time, and they'd be past the deadline, and it caused all kinds of problems for HR. So let me bring this video up and show you what this looks like. So this was our HR department. Again, easy creation, so anyone in the organization can actually create this content. Simply made a video here, recording of open enrollment, and talked through this process, when it was, what the deadlines were, did basically a nice little PowerPoint to explain how this worked and the process. And then you can see later on the actual forms highlighting information you have to fill in. So it was a really nice way to get this information out. And let me show you what the analytics look like then to be able to know who has actually watched this and how much of the content they watched. So when you click on the analytics tab down here, if I scroll down,
This is going to take a bit, perhaps, because there's so many people, so many employees loading in. But unlike some systems that just tell you how many clicks to start the video, how many views you got, it may have been 10 seconds or all of it, this breaks down the individual and how much of the content they watched. If you jump ahead, you don't get credit for watching that content.
Exactly. So you can see here we've got the actual names of employees, what percentage of the video content they watched. You get a nice high-level summary, too, of your overall completion rate for staff. So 58% of staff have actually completed this. The nice thing, too, is you can go and see who's partially completed it. And then you can also break it down by groups as well. So I can go to Human Resources Information Group, and this is really an all-staff group to be able to have everybody in a single group to be able to share information from HR when they need to hit everybody on staff. And so looking at it this way, you can actually quickly see who hasn't watched it and identify those members and really follow up directly with them to be able to get them to actually watch this content. So you know who has and has not watched and if they've watched the entire thing.
In this example, watching the video is not mandatory. A lot of people have done the forms in years past, and they know what they're doing. But what's so beautiful is instead of trying to get people in a room and have a meeting, and I try to take good notes, but I get back and a couple of days go by and I can't remember exactly what to do sometimes, and this has such clarity and detail, and you can just go find it and be successful, and it'll be around for as long as it needs to be around for.
Exactly. And then the other thing that's really nice is if you notice there's a little white dot here at the end. As we talked about, you can add some interactivity to the content, add some of these quizzing capability. Well, what they did was add that. So if I jump ahead here to the end and I'll play this, it'll pop up an actual quiz. So this pops up right over the video, and you can put these anywhere during the video you want. Any time in the video, you can put it at the very beginning. A lot of times we have customers put them at the very beginning and ask a question like, what are you hoping to learn from this video content? Or some kind of question like that. Not a graded quiz, but just an open-ended type of question to get some feedback and understanding about the viewer. And then at the end, ask them the same question. And did you get all your questions answered? What additional questions do you still need answered or would like more information about? So you as the content creator can start to get some feedback and understand how well you actually answered their questions with the content itself. But you can also score them. So if I take this quiz now, there's multiple choice, true, false type questions. It's asking, when were the open enrollment forms due, and I could submit my answers, and then I can view and see if I got that right. So this one I got correct. The green check mark here next to the answer means I got it correct. Again, the video will stop at these points, and the viewer will have to interact with the quiz before they can move on. So it's a great way to engage the viewer, force them to actually pay attention to the content a little bit, and have them interact with the content directly. And because it's built right in over the video, it's not taking them outside to some other system or some other page on the browser and distracting them out of the content itself. It keeps them engaged right in the content, and it works wherever you end up sharing this content. So if you do integrate with your LMS system, for example, these quizzes will show up right in the LMS system for your viewers. So it's a really nice way to add that interactivity and for them to be able to access it. And it works across devices. So this would work on an iPad with touch. They'd be able to just touch interact with this quiz, or on their phones as well. So they can use and consume this content regardless on any device.
And while Shane's pulling up what the quiz results look like, I know what some of you are thinking, that, oh sure, with the analytics, people can start the video, walk away from their machine, or go to a different tab. And that's true. Those are just come along for free that gives you a sense of who's watching your video, and whether you make it with a mobile device or that, or Camtasia, or if you pull one down from YouTube, we're going to apply those analytics to the video. But if you want to take it a step further, you can drop in these quizzes, these checkpoints, and get a higher degree of confidence and some sort of compliance. So if you do have a mandatory video, like some of the HR videos, you would probably do both. You have your analytics, but also one or more quizzes on that timeline.
Exactly. So I'm going to show, let me jump to another one here that we've created. And the nice thing too about Relay is it's completely integrated with our other products, Snagit and Camtasia Studio and Camtasia for Mac. So if you do want to create more polished and edited videos in Camtasia, you can easily add a lot of interactivity there. You can add your hotspots, you can add your table of contents, and you can share to TechSmith Relay, and all that works fine. And then you get the analytics, and you can come in or you can add the quizzes after the fact or while you're editing in Camtasia. But let me show you what it looks like because this was a video created with Camtasia, so picture-in-picture, nice shadow, added some effects to it. But on the quizzing side, I'll show you what that looks like when you want to go and view your results. So I just click on the View Results option here, and that's going to take me right to a dashboard. Now this dashboard gives you a quick high-level summary overview of who has taken the quiz and what the overall score is. So this one had one scored question on it, and that's what the graph down here is showing. And so the blue bar is what percentage of the viewers actually got this question correct. And then the dark bar is how much of the actual video content they watched leading up to the quiz. So this is a great way to give you an indication of, one, are people actually watching the video content leading up to your questions? And two, if they are, did they score well or not score well? And so that could be an indication of the content not being very effective, or it could be an indication if they didn't watch it that they're just not watching the content. So it gives you some good insight to how effective your content is at expressing or explaining the concept you are trying to get across in the video. But then you can break this down as well. So you can download these reports as CSV files. So if you want to pull them in and need to integrate them into some other system or upload those into some other system, you can easily do that. But you can also break it down quickly and see by viewer how each viewer did, and quickly select a viewer and be able to jump in and see exactly how they answered the questions, their overall score, as well as their specific responses to the questions that you asked. As well, not only by viewer, but you can break it down by questions. And so here you can see exactly all the questions you asked during the video and be able to look at the individual responses by question. So for example, this was one where I did put that information at the beginning of the video asking what do they hope to learn. So now I can come in and see, this was an open-ended question, so I can see exactly what their responses were and understand what they were expecting to get out of the video and if my video did a good job explaining that or not. So that's where that feedback mechanism comes in. You as the content creator can come in and see what your viewers are asking and sharing back to you about the video content. You could use it for polling. You can use it for all kinds of things around the video content itself. So now let's go in and quickly just see, well, why don't we jump to showing you how you can add TechSmith videos from TechSmith Views. So TechSmith Views is our mobile device or a mobile application that allows you to capture from the camera. So we're going to do a quick demo here to highlight how easy it is to capture video off your screen, just any real-world video footage. It could be doing presentations. It could be doing a process. And what we're going to show is doing a training video on the phone system. So you want to create a tutorial on help people understand how to use the phone, how to look up somebody in the directory that they can access through the phone system. We can make a really quick video to do that and share that out with the staff.
A lot of learning takes place in the real world, of course, as you know, not just on the computer screen. Let's take a look at how you can record live content with this app called TechSmith Views. I'm already set up, and my administrator has enabled me to contribute content to the system. So not just anyone can whip out their mobile device and just start sending videos. But I'm allowed, so it's very simple. Watch this. I'm going to teach someone how they can use these sophisticated phones. These phones have a ton of capability, much of which very few employees take advantage of. I'm recording right now, actually, and I'm going to navigate through. I just say, this is how you look up someone via directory, so you don't have to rely on paper or outdated directories. Type directory, then start using the keypad by first, or get this, last name. It'll pull up that user. So if I just type in S-H-A, there's Shane right there, and there's his extension. I can call him directly. When I'm done with the video, push done. Note also, in case you saw, that you can also pause these videos in between and grab these little combination of snapshots, or if you were interviewing a bunch of different little customer quotes and things. So you're out in the field, you capture some real practical knowledge on demand, and now what happens? If you've used mobile devices and other things before, you have this sometimes difficult capability to transfer the file and do something with it. Relay automates all of that. You can send as many videos as you want, and notice that you can also send it to other TechSmith products such as Snagit or Camtasia. In this case, though, I need to get this out to my department. So I tap the Relay icon. Just like on the desktop computer, I can give it a title if I'd like a description. But if I'm in a hurry, just press send, and I walk away. Right now, it's going to upload that video to the right place. It's going to make it available to those people that I'd like to have it. That's it. It's Views. It seems so quick and simple, and that's what we've striven for. No syncing, no messing with cables, etc. In a moment, it'll be on Shane's computer.
So as you can see here, the video that Mike just created using TechSmith Views on the iPad of the phone, it got submitted, it showed up in my library, and now it just is processing on the server. So the server's encoding this video. As soon as it's ready, it'll refresh and display on the page, and I'll be able to share that out, or I could share it now if I wanted to. But I want to wait, and I'm going to come back to this in just a minute. But I want to show you first is the integration with an LMS system. So we talked about that. So what we have used with TechSmith Relay is called Learning Tools Interoperability, or LTI for short, but that's the technology that allows us to integrate directly with different LMS systems. And so we have an example here using Moodle. And so I'm logged into Moodle, and so if you've already got an LMS system in place, you can just have your users, if you want to, just access all the Relay video content and be able to assign it to courses right from within your LMS system itself. So I'm going to show you how that works. So let's say I'm on this internal training course, and I want to add a video or add a lesson here for August 26th. And so first thing I have to do is turn editing on. And so what I'm going to do is add an activity. And so I select that, and I just choose External Tool, and that's all I got to do there. So I click Add, and now that gives me the ability to add this. So I'm going to talk, we'll say this is the, we'll call this the phone video. So we'll make this video that Mike just made a lesson here in Moodle. And so then I select in here the actual name that we give it. So this is part of the setup process. You do one time. It's really fast and simple from your admin perspective to be able to set up the integration. So we named this integration, this TechSmithPilot.com. You can name it whatever you want, so you can make it meaningful for your organization. And then all I have to do is say save and return to course. And now it automatically adds that to that course. And so now what I can do is go and select that. And this will let me now give me access to my entire video library inside of Relay right within Moodle. So now you can see this is coming up here. It's got my videos tab. I've got the ability to search across the Relay instance, which we really haven't talked about, is you can actually search for anybody's content within Relay. So everybody that's creating content, that's that knowledge base creation. You do have some privacy options around that, but you can find other people's videos if you want to leverage them as well. So it's not just your videos. And then finally, you can link to a video, so you can even share YouTube videos inside of Relay and get your own analytics and your own quizzing. But here's that phone video that is now ready. There's the thumbnail for it. I just simply hit Add Video, and now it's going to add this video to my Moodle course. And it's as simple as that. And now I'm done. So now any of my students or any staff or employees that are sign into Moodle and are enrolled in this course will see this video and be able to view this video here, and then I will get the analytics and I'll be able to view if I added a quiz, I'd be able to view the quiz results in Relay around this video content itself. So again, that's simple, really easy integration with your LMS system. It allows you to get that access, really enhance what kinds of content you can add to your LMS very simply and easily. And again, that works. We know it works with Blackboard, works with Canvas, works with any LMS system that supports LTI integration. So let's jump back now to my Relay instance. And so here we go with that video. I just want to show you real quick the adding the quiz capability. And so when I go to the phone video, here it is. Let's say I did want to add a quiz. I simply hit the quiz button, and down here go add questions. And now I can start to add questions. Let's say I'm right towards the end here. I'm going to add a question, and this is just telling me you can't move your questions once you've added them. And so I want to go ahead and type in.
Yeah, like true or false, you must search by last name or something.
Yeah.
You know, or.
Oops, if I could type, you must search by last name.
What is a tip that you know about the phone that you would be willing to share?
And then here's true or false, the question types you can add. I'll select true and false, and that is false is the correct answer. So I just select which one's the correct answer for that. And then the next one, we'll make this an open response or free response question. And what did you say, Mike, again?
Well, a lot of people have knowledge within your organization, but they don't know and nobody knows. So, do you know someone, or do you have a sophisticated tip? Like, for example, I know there's a way to have the phone work with your computer email.
Exactly. So then you can add a free response, and they can fill that in, and you'll be able to go, like we showed earlier, and be able to view that. So now, again, I could add multiple questions, as many as I wanted. I could add more questions at different points in the video. But when I'm done, I simply hit share again here. And success, that video now has that actual link. So if I actually even went back to my LMS course here, and I'll refresh the page. So you can share, you can add the quizzing. It doesn't change the link or how it's shared. You can go back in, and it'll automatically update that for you. And so now if I were to play this video inside the LMS on my Moodle page,
Very few employees take advantage of. I'm recording right now, actually.
and
I'm going to navigate through.
my scrolling is acting a little funky here.
Directories, so you don't have to rely on paper or outdated directories.
But you can see right there is that dot. If I jump ahead, boom, the quiz pops up right over the video. So there's where, again, you can add the quizzing to your video content to be able to take that quiz. And nope, I don't need to do that. And I'm just going to say this is a great video.
Just think about that
Mike?
productivity we saved.
And submit the answers. And now I'm done. So it's that easy to be able to, again, share, create that content. We just created a tutorial video in the time of this demo, and you can see how fast and how you can leverage your entire staff now and your knowledge workers inside your organization to be able to share their knowledge quickly and easily through TechSmith Relay, integrate it with your existing systems, integrate it with your existing Active Directory accounts so that you don't have to create and manage accounts separately. And that's where you get into the admin functionality. And so we can show that as well here real quick. I'm going to go back to that Relay page and just give you a quick look at some of the analytic capability as well, so that you can get a high-level, quick overview. We won't go into too much depth right now because we're running out of time, but you do have full administrative capabilities over the system. You can, in the admin section of the site, this is where you can decide how you want people to be able to get access to the system. So you can use Azure Active Directory. You can integrate with Google. If you're using Google accounts, you can integrate and authenticate with Google accounts. You can do it just with TechSmith accounts, so they're creating using their email address, and then you can specify what domains, email domains, are allowed to create accounts. And you can even do it with service codes. If you have a lot of different groups that you want to give access to, you can create service codes and they enter the service code, and then you can manage it with those codes and who has access. You can set up your LTI integrations here, so you can set up as many as you want of those. You can decide who gets permission to create content if you want to lock it down and only give certain people permission to create content. And also if you want to lock out the ability to share YouTube video content inside of your Relay instance, you can turn that off. You have a response team, so we provide you complete technical support, free ongoing technical support whenever you need it. You can also have a direct technical contact, and then we also provide customer care throughout the process to help you get started with it, to use it, to nurture your process of getting users on board and figuring out how you want to use it, and creating materials to help you roll it out with your organization and your staff so that you're getting value out of that content and out of using the system. Users and roles, this tab allows you to easily search for users, also be able to view all your users. You can block users if you need to block users that may have gotten access and no longer you want to have access. You can block them here. You can also edit roles, so you can change roles, give administrative roles, give creator roles, and decide that. And you can even manually add users if you need to manually add some users to the system through this process. So you have user control here, and then on the videos tab, you have the ability to review and add and delete, or not add, but delete video content and be able to view video content that's in the system. So you can search for it. If you got somebody says, hey, we got this video that shouldn't be in there, you can go in and find that and delete it as an administrator right from here. And as well as an administrator, you can go to anyone's account and be able to view their videos on their page and be able to manage them for them on those pages as well. So you get that admin capability and being able to see how much video content is created. Here we have nearly 2,000 videos that are part of the system currently. So you can see again how much the system is being utilized as well. So those are the quick overview of the administrative functionality. I think we've covered pretty much everything in the system. Anything else we need to cover, Mike, that you can think of?
No, I think that's about it for now, and we can leave it there.
I'll just show you real quick, again, how you can add videos as well here. You can also add, we talked about Fuse, we talked about the Relay recorders, but you can also add from YouTube. So you just need the link, copy and paste the link for a YouTube video and add it in here, and it'll put it as part of your library. And you can also copy and paste videos from other parts of the site. So again, building that knowledge base. One system we use a lot here is Get Satisfaction. So if I wanted to find a video about Get Satisfaction that I wanted to be able to share, here's a tutorial part 1. I can just do a search and instantly be able to find that video. So again, it allows you to create your own internal knowledge base of video content, easily searchable, easily findable, and again, that creation piece is really easy throughout the process, so you can leverage video and leverage your staff members, your knowledge workers, to be able to create that content and easily share that. So that's a quick overview of Relay, and we look forward to talking with you further about it.
Hello everyone and welcome back. In just a couple of seconds here, we're going to start answering your questions. Once again, there's a chat widget right below the video, so if you have any additional questions, please ask them there. First, let's do some quick introductions. Mike, tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been with TechSmith for 7 years. I started in user assistance, trying to help people be successful at the individual level. And now I'm working closely with Relay team and other people at TechSmith, trying to see how we can help an organization be successful on a higher level.
Okay. And my name is Walter Pulowski. I'm a customer solutions engineer here at TechSmith, and I also work with TechSmith Relay in explaining how our software can best be implemented in customer environments. Okay, so we're going to get to your questions right away here, and if you have any other ones, please feel free to ask them in the chat widget, and we'll get to those as well. Mike, we've got a question. Can I make the video private? What are the privacy settings for a video?
Oh, let's see. If I go to my videos tab, I'll just pick a video. We sort of have an onion of privacy, because by default, TechSmith Relay, one of the key things is keeping it private within your organization. So if someone takes that link and even sends it outside, it's not going to work, no matter what you set it as. But within the organization...
So you need to authenticate first regardless.
Yep.
Okay.
And then within the video, you can pick one from one of 3 levels right here. So anyone, it's very similar if you use like a Google Drive or a Google document, but you can have it open up within your organization, which will appear in search. You can share it with a group or just an individual link. This is sort of equivalent to, if you're familiar with the security by obscurity, you know, like an unlisted video. And then finally, you can have it so it's only you. In other words, no one will come across this video until you're ready to share it, for example.
Okay. I like the term onion of security. I think that's what we can use as the clickable link, onion of
New
security. The next question is, can we use our existing company accounts to log into TechSmith Relay?
You probably can. Well, it depends on, we have three ways you can do it. Let me sign out here first. So at TechSmith, we're on the Windows Azure Active Directory. So if I sign out of my account here and sign back in, it will know that I have to use the same authentication I used to log into my workstation. The other thing you can do,
so they're essentially, the first one is Azure Active Directory, which a lot of companies use Active Directory out there, and then it's essentially making, tying your Azure Directory instance to the cloud, to Microsoft's cloud, and then we will use those existing usernames and passwords in order to authenticate. And then, okay.
So here we are here, mcurtis at techsmith.com. It intercepts me. This looks exactly like the screen I see if I'm remote and I try to connect to our system at TechSmith. The second thing you can do is a Google account, if you're already using that. And the third thing is Twitter authentication currently.
Okay. And if you don't have any of those, there's a way that you can just use local accounts as well, but this happens to pertain to, you know, organizational wide accounts. So if you don't want to have to remember a separate username and password, all of those are options. Our next question is, we use Android devices. Can we have people watching content on those devices?
One great thing about TechSmith, we really got this video down so that the files are compact, they're web friendly, they're mobile friendly, so you can play them just about anywhere. If you can't play one of our videos on something, then you probably can't play many videos on it. But you certainly can watch it on an Android device.
So these are industry standard formats. This is using HTML5 technology, so you should be able to play this on mobile devices. The second question is, how about creating content on those devices? Specifically, I think this person was asking about Android.
Yep, in the demo we used iPad to kind of walk through how you can capture real-world content. You can do the identical thing on Android. And if you're asking, can you create like a screencast of the Android screen to demonstrate, let's say, how to use an Android application, that part isn't possible right now in the Fuse app.
Yep. But yeah, you can take that real-world video with Fuse and bring it right in. Our next question is, we use SharePoint 365. Can Relay work with that? How can Relay work with that?
We use SharePoint here as well, and some Office 365, and there's a couple things you can do. For example, every video in your system will have, of course, the URL, and you can easily copy-paste it there and reference it. So if we have internal type wiki or knowledge article, we can paste the links to the relevant videos. The other thing you could do, if I pull up a video here, is you can grab the embed code underneath the share button and drop that into your whatever system you might be using.
Okay. And what does that mean? What does the embed code do?
We drop you off with a little bit of, it kind of like lets you watch the video in the context of where you are. And we do a little preview here, so you can change the height and width, you know. So if, let's say you have an internal blog, the SharePoint's a great example. Maybe you want it 800 pixels wide, and then what you want to do is copy this code and then paste it. The trick is, a lot of times when you paste that code, you might be in like the what you see is what you get visual editor, but sometimes the different tool has like a HTML view or a code view. That's where you want to paste this little snippet.
So you're pasting a little HTML code, and what it does is it kind of treats it like that video is right there in the site. Even though it's hosted within TechSmith Relay, it'll show up right there in SharePoint.
Yeah, and so the kind of the trickery thing there, let's say you had a system like that was open to the public. We talked about the privacy. The person's able to go to your SharePoint site or your blog or whatever it is, and they scroll down, all of a sudden there's going to be a blank video for them because they don't have access to that video you posted, if it's hosted in Relay right now.
Well, that's actually a real good segue to the next question. Is it possible to designate content viewable both internally and externally to an organization?
Yep, we get this a lot, so the short answer is currently no. originally, like we tend Relay for this internal knowledge sharing, subject matter experts, things that might be proprietary to your organization. However, we do get a lot of feedback because there's always that time where you want to make an exception to the rule. We want to have a public video. So the current way is you could go into the system, download the video, and put it on Vimeo or YouTube or some other thing that's allowable. Make that available to the public. The second thing we can do, if it was really important, TechSmith can work with you perhaps to create these alternative publish methods within the system that would go outside of the sort of the de facto or the default recommended hosted part. In other words, we could set up a thing to send to screencast.com or FTP or something. But we are working on it, and we hope to have that done by the end of the year. In some way, you'll be able to flag a video that this is acceptable to be allowed to see publicly.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Keep the questions coming. Once again, right below the video, you can ask those questions, and we'll try to make sure we get to as many of them as we possibly can. This is somewhat related as well. How does Relay differ from something like YouTube?
All right, so they're similar in that they both host content. There's lots of things out there that host content.
Yep.
A key thing with our Relay system is not just knowing how many views, for example, but with the authentication, we know a lot more information about the viewer. Viewing
because of
analytics,
that authentication.
active users, all that sort of thing. Yep. And then the other thing is, like, if you make a video with a tool like Camtasia and you're putting in hotspots, which are things that you can click to make you jump out of the video. I know YouTube has some hotspot ability too, but this end-to-end system where, a lot of people, for an individual, they can, what's the word, like stitch together this tool with this tool and kind of make it happen if they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
When it comes to scalability though, Relay is really nice because you got your basic recorder, you got the mobile, you've got your Snagit, you've got your Camtasia that works with it. So you really can go enterprise-wide and have that peace of mind, I think.
So it's not just the hosting side of things, it's all the recorders, it's the mobile aspect of it, it's the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, a lot of the interactivity, the quizzing.
Great. How can, this user's asking, so we talked about privacy settings and you have those different options, but how can they specifically control who has access?
Okay, I think I understand. So stepping outside of the video for a second, how do you control who has access to the system is what I'm going to interpret that as, in general.
I think specifically this question was about a video in particular.
A video in
particular. So when you give them access to the group, per se?
Well, yeah, we can look at a video again where there's that little icon that has the privacy setting with the 3 levels there. So you can have it available to everyone in the organization. So here we have some tutorial videos that were sent out to help people understand how to use tools in what we call Get Satisfaction. That's our customer community type portal. And we want that available to everyone in the organization. If that only applied to, let's say, a customer service, we could have that be shared to a group. So on the Share tab, maybe I'll say Share to a group.
Gotcha.
And I might have a group for a particular department.
And will that person, will they go into the system to recognize that those videos are available? Can they receive a notice? How does that work?
When you're a member of a group, anytime new content is added to the group, they are notified via email that there's new content available, what it is. So they don't have to babysit the system. A lot of people don't want to have like one more thing to have to check in on, right?
Yep.
So that's why we kind of leverage the good old-fashioned email.
Okay. Another question we have, how long does it take for a Fuse video or one of those mobile videos to be available in Relay? And if you don't mind, I can take this one. That's going to depend on a lot of different things. How long the total turnaround time is from recording to when that video is available, not just in Fuse, but in the full TechSmith Relay recorder as well, is going to depend on what your upload speed is. So we record a source recording video, and then it's going to upload to the server and be made available in a format that everyone can view. So if you're on a modem connection, a really slow modem connection, or you've got no internet connection at all, it's going to take a long time in order for those to be available. If you're on you have a really fast connection, can get up to the server right away, and it might just take a few minutes to be available, depending on, once again, how long that video is and the kind of content that you recorded. Because there's if you record a lot of full motion video content with Fuse, like an HD quality recording, that's a lot higher in file size, so it might take a little while to both upload that and then transcode it and make it available. So there's a lot of things that will affect that, how long it will take. Relay's designed to make sure it gets up there, and then it'll send you an email message when that video is available for to be viewed. All right, and then that email that you had indicated, if you're tied to that group, that doesn't get sent out until it's available for viewing. So this user asks, what do I do if I'm interested in testing out Relay and I want to see if it will work for my organization?
Alrighty. If you contact TechSmith, the first thing we're going to do is figure out kind of what your needs are, your goals, what does success look like, how do you plan on using video in your organization, and then there's a couple ways we can go. We can set you up with like a little sandbox type system here that we share. You can have it for a while. We can kick the tires, as they say. And then in some cases, if the industry wants to set up their own site, and give it some predetermined run with some plan, we sometimes do spin up like a trial period that they can actually use.
All right. What is the quality of the video that is shown to the end users? What's the format? What's the resolution for those final videos?
I think we do all 720 is what we try for. 720p, 720. I select the basic HD.
Yep.
It's pretty nice, especially with our screen recording. You get pixel perfect captures. So we think it's pretty well. And we try to optimize that, of course, for iPad and for your mobile device.
Okay. Once again, any more questions, please ask them in the chat widget below. We've got just a couple more minutes, so we're going to try to tie this up very shortly. We have a question. How many groups can be included in the system? Is there a limitation of the number of groups? Or?
I don't think there's a limit. I mean, as an individual, you can choose to create as many groups as you want. You can join as many groups as you are allowed.
Okay.
And I guess anybody can create any number of groups, I think.
Okay. No, I don't think there's a limit, so that's good. Can you talk about the licensing model a little bit? How does the licensing model work? How would it work for an organization or a company?
Sure. We understand that a lot of organizations are different. You're talking about the enterprise level investments here. We have this idea where you can sort of pay as you grow. If you want to kind of start small within a department and then add on users that way. But basically we have a base fee that gets access to all the bandwidth, all the hosting, the server, all that stuff, the analytics, and that about $10,000. And then above that, we're going to add on some kind of usage-based thing. But we don't like nickel and dime and say, oh, you have 1 meg of data over. We just have how much usage is it going to get, and then we can either set a price that can be predicted, or we can kind of do like more of a true-up model if that's preferable.
Okay. So is it based on that usage? Is it based on people or data or
people?
Okay.
How many people are actively using the system on a regular basis? It'll be a per user fee per year.
Okay. And active users. So differentiating that from total people that have access, probably all those people aren't going to use it day one. So
yeah, we do not want to punish you for using it one time and then what I mean. If you're using it, it's great. We want to encourage the adoption and usage, but pretty flexible.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we've gotten to all the questions. So I want to thank you, Mike. Thank you for answering all those questions. And thank you, the viewer, for tuning in today. If you have any other questions for us, feel free to contact us either on one of our web forums or at webinars@techsmith.com. We hope this was valuable to you. Once again, we're going to make this video available to everyone that registered for this webinar. We're going to send you a hyperlink afterwards. You'll see it in HD quality as we post it to YouTube. And thank you very much for tuning in today. Thank you, Mike. And we hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.